which performance psychology skill do you think is the most useful for the field of business and for everyday business life?
It is a good question because I do like several skills, but one stands out above all others. So if you're going to do just one, it really is being able to get calm and stay focused. So getting calm or calm-ish. So really, however you do that, the easiest way is breathing properly and quickly, not physically quickly, but being able to calm yourself with breathing in 5 seconds, 10 seconds is the most productive skill out there. For sure.
I was talking to a colleague of mine who happens to be a very good volleyball player. She just won some tournament, and this is a question from her. She was wondering whether you see the same thing. Do you see the gender difference in between how men and women focus on the field and during performance? Because it seems, and I don't know if this is just a stereotype, but it seems that for men, it comes easier to be, laser focused and leave everything behind. And when they get to the field, they just, they're on the field. And for women, it might be, other things, and they bring their whole life and many aspects to it. Do you see that difference, or is it just stereotyping?
I do like this question because I've had to think about this over the years as well and look into this, because what I see in my practice is it's all so individual. So I've worked with many men. Most of my career has been working with men, but obviously I work with a lot of women too. And I don't see that difference. I see it some men are very good at being able to get down to it, and some women are very good at being able to get down to it, and others are all over the place and have to learn how to harness their mental abilities and their skills. So, to me, it's all very individual based on their personal performance style. So I will spend time with the client, finding out about them and finding out what makes them thrive and what gets in their way. So we can go right to what gets in their way, as opposed to, spend lots of time on things that they're already doing great, which is, many things. So I do not see that stereotype.
There is this Rocky quote. I'm not sure if I'm quoting it correctly because I know it in Polish, but Rocky in one of the parts says to his son, "It doesn't matter how hard are your punches. What matters is how long you stay in the field, right, in the box." So it's a lot about psychological resilience, I think. And do you have any thoughts on that? Because I think the last couple of years, we've been under a lot of pressure for a long time. And I think everyone is sort of losing their nerve and I think are not as resilient because it's a long process and we've been stressed for a very long time. So do you maybe have any advice how to, get back to our top form?
Yes. I always like to remind people that it takes courage to try to be good. It's not necessarily easy. It's easier to quit, to hold back, to protect yourself. That's not how you're going to perform your best and feel good. So I'm always encouraging people to plan out what you need to do and give it a go. Again, it's when you get, when you drift into that worry box or the fear box, the distracted zone, that's when it's easy to hold back, to take a step back, to not quite deliver what you can because of the self-protection. I know if I do this, I know if I, say it's soccer, I know if I step into that person and I'm right there so I can tackle and get the ball, I know I've got a great chance at being good. But what a lot of people end up doing, say in that situation, I guess, they get close, they're maybe a half a step behind, they're right there, but they're not really right there. So they can always say, well, I was right there. I tried. I was in the right position where you weren't. And that last half a step is mental holdback, because you don't want to put yourself right out there, because if you do and you fail, then you're going to worry about the criticism. So it's that self-protection that I think we have to start thinking about and get over a little bit and be honest with ourselves. Take that extra half a step. Make sure you don't procrastinate too long so that you get that report done. These types of things. But you have to look at yourself first. You have to be able to coach yourself through these things.
There is a wonderful chapter in your book about children's performance and about how to be a good parent when your child is doing sports or any kind of performance. And I would like to ask you to tell us maybe what are your thoughts, because my son is actually playing soccer, and there is this big poster in his field which says, "Dear parents, this is not Champions League yet. Please don't behave like hooligans. These are still children."
That's wonderful.
And a judge is still human. Please don't yell at him.
I love that there are posters up. Yeah. Remind parents to, basically what I'm always trying to tell parents is to back off. You have to back off your children and not just let them do whatever they want. I'm not suggesting that, because your job as a parent, obviously, we both know, is to challenge and help them get through stresses and tough bits and, stress themselves a little bit in a good way to get what they want and perform. But too many parents are living vicariously. They want their child to be the best, because if my kid's better than your kid, then I'm better than you. That's somehow a lot of the attitude, which is so silly. I see parents, good people, but say at tennis matches, yelling at the opponent, criticizing the opponent, criticizing their own kids, swearing at their kid. I'm sticking on tennis, but I have young players through my office, and their parents, it could be a dad or a mom, depending on the sport, telling them what to do, demeaning them, diminishing them, telling how to hit the ball. They're not doing this, they're not doing that. So as soon as the kid steps off the court, they know they're going to get it from their parent. So I asked some of these kids, you're 13, can you beat your dad? And they've been beating their dad handily for 3 years, yet their dad still feels that they can tell them how to hit the ball properly and what they're doing wrong and whatnot. So I bet you see that a lot with soccer. Do you?
Not in my team, actually, but I've had this happen when my son's team was playing another team, like from a neighboring city. And, those parents actually yelled at us, at the parents of the other team. It was surreal.
It's so silly, isn't it?
I know, and they're 5, 6, 7-year-olds, so it's not very professional,
It's harmful. It's destructive. I like parents to, give their kids a little bit of a nudge to help them over the tough moments, but when it comes to a full-on shove, we've got problems. And I do, yes, often help parents just to stop thinking about their kid for a moment and look at yourself. Like, they have to be able to coach them to a more composed demeanor when they're out in public. Right?
Right. Absolutely right.
It's always about their child, and I'm trying to get them, hold on, are you behaving properly? You're actually adding stress to your child. That's why they might not be playing as well as you think they should. So part of this. So, I'm often telling parents to talk to your child, see what might get in their way. Does your behavior stress them? What's going to help them? What's going to hurt them around? Let them talk. They're 15, they're 13, they're 10. They will tell you if you're
especially since most of those kids are not even are not going to become professionals, right? I mean, I suppose that most of parents actually get their children into sport to develop this trait that you write about, and which I absolutely loved, which is character. And you mentioned that when you're present at drafts, this is something that you look for. And I think it's also very applicable in hiring people for everyday jobs. So could you please elaborate on what you believe is character and how it helps people perform better?
Yes. And I do a lot of behavior analytics work in terms of finding out something about the person that needs to be either drafted or hired for a position job. So it's the same thing, selection, best people for the culture of your organization, or people that you think will develop quickly versus people who will be risky and cause problems. So character really, it's just it's the ability, it's your natural day-to-day decisions you make. Are you able to think through the consequences to your actions or not? So when you have, I would say, we'll call it good character, you are able to think through what your potential actions might cause. You will listen to others. You show conscious restraint. It's more of a mature day-to-day action. Whereas if you don't have good character, you're very inconsistent. You are self-gratifying. You are always thinking about yourself, impulsively behaving in your own best interest, not able to see other people's points of view. Immature, undisciplined, can never tell what this person is going to do. Sometimes they behave immaculately and they're wonderful. And other times they cheat or they lie or step in front of people, or they don't give people the right credit, or they, fudge the accounting at the office, all of these types of things. Right. So if I'm thinking about sports in terms of drafting for, say, an NFL team or a professional soccer team, again, it's the same for business, but I'm really looking for people who you can develop, who are able to change their behaviors should they wish, able to withstand some pressure and able to perform, mostly like themselves when the pressure's on. And if they don't do a very good job of that, are they able to step up and develop that? So those people are in one category. And then there's the red flags that are in another category. In terms of character. And those are the ones that I say to organizations and to teams. Do not draft, do not select. They will become problems for you. You will not be able to change them. They might be good for a little while, and you might, they all fall in love with the skill set. Oh, they're super they can bring in a lot of money, which is wonderful. But if it's a long-term venture, you're going to run into financial problems or problems within your organization because of these people. So I know it might sound harsh, but those are the people you want to avoid in your organizations.